So we went on Kickstarter. We did like 52K from 1,200 backers.
Nice.
So Kickstarter, it's like pre-orders. So basically you set a goal. If you reach that goal, then you get the money and it helps you fund the actual launch of the product. So we did that. And then we were contacted by Shark Tank.
They reached out to you?
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Shark Tank is begging for this guy's money.
Not exactly.
Well,
Like, if
but
you
the
saw how it
inter-
went, not exactly.
the interesting part is, and you've told this story probably hundreds of times, and I'm not sure if you watched the episode, but coincidentally, I mean, it just came on not too long ago,
Yeah.
and I was laying in bed watching. I'm like, wow. I said to Mom, I said, this is the guys that we're going to be meeting. So, do you recall? Forget Mark Cuban's first reaction. That was, I was like, oh my God. And I'm watching this. I never saw it before. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he just shit all over this poor kid's drink.
Let him tell the story.
Well,
No,
I want to
keep
tell
going.
it.
Keep
I
going.
want to tell it. And then I'll let him. He's told it a lot. So I figured
loves telling
it
stories.
might be refreshing. No. So he shits on it. And I'm like, wow, oh my God, this poor kid, what are they going to do? And the body language and the facial expressions for me were the tell. And I'm like, all right, they got this. I don't know where it's going to go, but they were both composed, fairly composed. You must have went through the mental game of, okay, if he says yes, he says no, she says, you must have done some of that. And I hope you did. If you didn't, all right. And then they progressively go through each shark, who one after the other go out. So who was the first shark that went out?
Oh man, I don't remember it in that much detail. So you
Okay.
you black out, right? Like you're I mean, that's, you've started a company, like that's your Super Bowl, right? At least you feel like it is at the time. And I think my guess, I think Ro Oza, who runs Kavu,
I think you're right.
he was the last one to go out. And then my guess is Barbara or Lori were probably the first two to go out.
Because I thought he was going to invest at the end.
Yeah, Ro. Yeah.
It was Lori.
Yeah.
And then I believe it was Kevin.
Kevin,
And then
Kevin called us single cell amoeba because we were pre-launch. I'm like, dude, we are where we are. Like, I don't know what you want from me. Like,
And what you just said, that was exactly what I noticed. I was like, oh my God, they're getting shit on.
Yeah.
And Manny's face and Josh, like, they didn't even care. It was almost like, not that you expect the word, did you go in there saying nobody's going to invest?
we have now talked to hundreds of investors. You get told, even at that time, we'd probably talked to, honestly, at that time, probably dozens, if not hundreds.
Sure.
Even at that point, you get told no enough times. Like, you're just like, it never becomes fun. But like your first no ever, ooh, that hurts.
That hurts, for sure.
Someone's like, I don't believe that you're going to make it. And I don't want to give you my money because I don't believe in you, which totally understand. We're a couple of knuckleheads from the suburbs of Boston that want to create a chocolate milk. Like we get it. We understood it.
Right.
But so for us, yes, it was in front of millions of people and on camera, but like it wasn't the first time we were like, with Football Reference, like strapping the pads on. Like we've been there before.
That's awesome.
And I think Josh and I kind of halfway through obviously didn't go as we anticipated, but we're halfway through, and I think we kind of like looked at each other and like acknowledged that we could kind of brawl till the death and like really, really fight and like, or you just be respectful, absorb the feedback, and kind of like agree to disagree, but like still defend it.
Sure.
Like in terms of the product, like we're not gonna let them talk trash about our babies. Like we're gonna defend the product. Even at that time where the product, it wasn't final, like that never made it to market. It was just too early in the process to have a final product, and so we just did the best we could in terms of product. Right. But with other things in terms of valuation, like, I mean, a valuation, like you've invested in businesses, as you know, yes. It's an investor and a founder agreeing upon what the company's worth. Right. Until you're public, that's what it is. Like I could come in here and say Slate's valued at $500 million. I could say it's valued at $5 million. If we agree and you're going to invest, that's the value of the company.
Right.
Right. And so it was kind of like an agree to disagree. And I think what we should have probably done better is re-steer the conversation back to the market, back to the vision, and not focus as much on valuation. I think we tried because we were in there much longer than 8 minutes, and that's all that aired.
So give us give us a little bit of background, because I heard that they take 5% of any business that comes in. So talk to us about whatever happens behind the scenes of Shark Tank.
Yeah, so that's not true. Behind the scenes, not too much I can talk about, but they do not take equity in the company. They're
debunked, people.
Yeah, not true. They're I think they did season
Well,
one.
could it have changed since then? Not to cut you off, but
I think it was back in season 1 they did. At least that's what I literally, they didn't even say
But
anything
when
about
you went
this.
on, we're talking about when you went
Correct.
on the show.
My experience,
This was
no equity taken.
Right. Okay.
I think that their entire team, like, look, it's Hollywood, but they were super respectful. Like they were a pleasure to work with, honestly.
Great.
And it was just a cool experience. Like, we talked about this too. It didn't significantly impact the business one way or another. I think it was another domino in the story.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's another chapter in the book. Yeah.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check this one out right here because it's just as good or maybe even better. Cheers.